So have you heard the buzz about this one? It's everywhere. This simple mix of coconut water and lime juice that's gone totally viral, making these huge claims about boosting male sexual performance. Today, we're going to crack this thing wide open and see if there's any real science behind all the hype. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, this is the question, right? This is what's fueling everything on social media, on the streets. People are actually calling it the natural blue pill. The idea is that it's a simple, easy-to-get alternative to prescription meds. But can a tropical drink really truly live up to a claim that big?
And listen to this quote. It's straight from the streets of Accra. This really shows you how powerful the belief is. This isn't just some quiet little health trend. Nope, it's become a whole cultural thing. People are convinced it works wonders. So our job here is to peel back the layers and separate that street-level myth from the cold, hard science.
Okay, first things first. Let's break down one half of the equation, the coconut. We're going to look at exactly what's inside of it and then dig into the scientific studies that have actually tested its effects on the big things for male health. You know, testosterone and sperm quality.
So what's actually in a coconut that has everybody so worked up? Well, it turns out it's kind of loaded with stuff that's really relevant for men's health. You've got manganese, which is linked to sperm motility, how well they swim. It's got zinc, which people literally call the man's mineral because of its role in sperm and prostate health. Then there's lauric acid, potassium, magnesium, electrolytes, all of which are absolutely crucial for good circulation, staying hydrated, and having stamina. Okay, so what does all that nutrient talk mean in the real world? Well, check out this study on rats. It's pretty fascinating. Researchers gave one group nicotine, and as you can see from that middle bar, it just tanked their testosterone levels, cut them almost in half. But, and this is the cool part, when they gave another group nicotine plus coconut water, look at that. Their testosterone bounced right back. It really suggests that coconut water might have some kind of protective effect on hormone production. All right, so hormones are one piece of the puzzle. But what about the sperm cells themselves? You know, the swimmers. To figure that out, scientists set up another experiment. They use nicotine again, because we know it's basically poison for sperm, to see if coconut water could step in and play defense. And wow, the pictures really tell the story here. Look at the top left. That's the control group, healthy, normal-looking sperm. Now, just look at the panel right next to it. That's the nicotine group. You can see the damage plain as day. Heads are detached, bodies are twisted up. That is a perfect illustration of the toxic effect we're talking about. Now for the really interesting part, let's look at those bottom two panels. The one on the right shows the group that got both nicotine and coconut water. Just compare them to the nicotine-only group. The cells are visibly healthier, they're more intact. It really looks like the nutrients in the coconut water help put up a shield, protecting the sperm from a lot of that damage. Pretty incredible.
But we have to pause here for a really important warning. It is absolutely crucial to know we're talking about coconut water. Coconut oil is a whole different story. It's super high in saturated fat, and diets that are loaded with saturated fat are actually linked to a higher risk of erectile dysfunction. So the takeaway here is simple. Moderation is everything.
Okay, on to the second ingredient in our viral concoction, the lime. So if coconut's potential benefits are all about hormones and sperm health, lime's contribution seems to be all about something else that's just as important, blood flow.
Now, to understand how lime might work, we need to talk about a little thing called nitric oxide. Think of it as a traffic controller for your circulatory system. It's this vital molecule that tells your blood vessels to just relax and open up, to widen. And that improves circulation. That increased blood flow is the fundamental physical thing you need for an erection to happen.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting. A study from 2022 found that lime juice helped improve sexual function in rats by boosting that nitric oxide we just talked about. But it also did something else incredible. It inhibited an enzyme called PD5. Now, why is that a big deal? Because that is the exact same biological pathway that prescription drugs like Viagra use to do their job. And honestly, this isn't a total shock when you zoom out a bit. Limes are citrus fruits, right? And as you can see here, citrus is just packed with these powerful compounds called flavonoids. We already know these things have a huge range of health benefits, from fighting off damage as antioxidants to helping our metabolism.
Okay, so we've looked at the science for coconut. We're thinking nutrients, sperm health, and we've looked at the science for lime. We're thinking blood flow. So what happens when you put them together? Does 1 + 1 suddenly equal magic? Or is all the hype just, well, a myth?
Let's put them head to head. The hype on the street is calling it natural Viagra that works wonders. But the science, while it's definitely promising, is a lot more careful.
What it shows is that the ingredients can support factors related to sexual health, things like blood flow and sperm quality, at least in animal studies. But there is zero direct scientific evidence that this specific combination works as a human aphrodisiac. And here's the verdict from a medical pro. Health expert Dr. Zifa kind of brings it all back down to earth. She says that, yeah, it's a healthy, nutritious drink, but its main benefit is probably just boosting your overall energy and immune system. And sure, having more energy can definitely help you participate in sexual activity, but that's an indirect benefit, not a direct medicinal effect.
So if it's not some magic potion, why do so many people absolutely swear by it? Well, the answer is probably something you've heard of before: the placebo effect. Never underestimate the power of your own brain. The simple act of doing something that you believe will work can give you a massive confidence boost. And when it comes to sexuality, confidence is an incredibly powerful aphrodisiac all by itself. And you know, this whole thing brings us to what's probably the most important takeaway of all. Instead of chasing after one single magic bullet drink, let's talk about what the science really says about building a strong, solid, long-term foundation for sexual health.
Is so important to be critical when you hear about so-called natural remedies. I mean, look at this table from the Mayo Clinic. Natural does not automatically mean it's safe or effective. Some things, like L-arginine, have some positive data. Others, well, there's just not enough evidence. And some, like yohimbe, can actually be pretty dangerous. You've always got to do your homework.
At the end of the day, if you remember one thing, let it be this: your erectile health is not some separate thing from the rest of your body. In fact, it's often one of the very first signs of your overall cardiovascular health. Think about it. Strong blood flow is everything for your heart, and it's everything for erectile function too. So the real secret to lasting sexual health? It's not hiding in a single drink. It's built on these 4 pillars: a balanced, heart-healthy diet, regular physical activity to keep your circulation strong, making sure you're properly hydrated, and getting quality sleep, which is non-negotiable for regulating your hormones. These are the habits that build a foundation that's actually strong. Which leaves us with one final question to think about. This whole coconut and lime trend is a really fascinating mix of science and culture, but it forces us to ask what we're really after. Are we just looking for a quick fix in a coconut shell, or are we actually willing to do the real work to build a lasting foundation for our health?